Your human body. How's it performing? Are you performing at your best? Do you have a stack of energy all day long? Do you love what you see in the mirror? Do you love the way your body feels to touch? However you're eating and however you're exercising, are you getting the results that you want? And they're the 4 questions that I always ask every day, because I think, what do you reckon? You should be able to demand that from your eating and exercise plan. If you're not living your life like that, which is the opposite, you've got no energy, you're not performing at your best, you don't like what you see in the mirror, you don't like the way your body feels to touch, and whatever exercise program or eating plan you're doing, it isn't working, it isn't giving you the results that you want, why would you do such a thing? It doesn't make any sense to me. So how do you know what to do, and how do things change? Because obviously there's research and studies and experts and opinions on what you should and shouldn't do, and some things have changed and some fundamentals are the same. So how do you know who to believe? And if you've got an opinion but you haven't got all of those things working for you, do you need to look at other people's opinions? Do you need to look at other information? Well, here's a much better question. It's a question that I ask every day. Why not learn how your human body works for yourself? Why do we rely on experts? Why do we think that a doctor or an exercise professional or a personal trainer or a gym owner or an elite athlete, or worse, a celebrity or a social media influencer would know more about our body than we do? How you feel, what works for you, is it possible that that's going to be different than for somebody else? So when you like to eat, and here's a great question, why do we eat if we're not hungry, and why do we keep eating if we're full? So regardless of what somebody tells you to eat, what if it doesn't fit into that? Better question, if you're really fit and strong and your endocrine system's working, so your hormones are working for you, not against you, is it possible that your own body will tell you when to eat, when to stop eating, and what you actually should eat and how much you need to eat, rather than an expert telling you that? And as an exercise professional all of my life, as a personal results coach, a lot of people say that to me, Rowie, just tell me what to eat and how to exercise, and I'll do exactly what you tell me to do. But I always ask a much more important question. Let's just say I pick 10, 100, 1,000 people and I tell them exactly how to eat and exactly how to exercise, and it's all exactly the same. Is it possible that they would all get different results? Because we have different human bodies. Now, the anatomy and physiology is the same, but the food that you like to eat and don't like to eat, why would you waste calories on food that you don't like? I always ask that question. Your lifestyle, your stress levels, the people that you have in your life and how they affect your headspace, the way you were brought up, your culture, your genetics, whether you're male or female, there's a whole heap of affecting factors as to what's going to work for you and what isn't. So why not just learn how your human body works? You've got to live in this thing for the rest of your life. So if you know your anatomy and physiology, and I just had a great conversation with one of my students who said, oh, but I want to be a sports strength and conditioning coach, which is a great goal. But even elite athletes, they don't all train the same. And why would you give everybody the same program, even if they're in the same sport? Is it possible that they've got different limb lengths? They're short or tall, they're wider or thinner. They have a different time of the day that works better for them. Have you ever heard that? I function much better in the morning than I do in the evening. I function much better at night than I do in the morning. So if we keep telling people what to do and how to do it and how much to do, is it possible that we'd screw it up? So as an exercise professional, and if you ever give advice to anybody about eating and exercise, first of all, would it be a good question to ask, are you performing at your best? Do you have a stack of energy? Do you love what you see in the mirror? Are you getting the results that you want? And if the answer is yes, why would you screw around with what they're already doing? And if the answer's no, my favourite question is this. If you were your own high-performance eating and exercise coach, what advice would you give yourself? Now, there's 2 reasons for asking that question. One is you'll find out where their headspace is and what they believe and what's important to them, so you don't offend them, hurt them, argue with them and have a confrontation about what they think is right or wrong. Because someone, for example, who's a vegan vegetarian is that for a reason. So if you tell somebody you should eat meat but they're a vegan vegetarian because they love animals, you're going to have a fight. Wouldn't that be silly? But the second thing that's never happened to me when I ask that question, if you're your own high-performance eating and exercise coach, what advice would you give yourself? Nobody's ever said to me, I should eat crappy food, I should take copious amounts of drugs, alcohol, do no exercise, I should just be a lazy human being, sit on the couch and eat chips. Nobody's ever said that to me. Most people have got a really good idea about what's going to work for them, and all they've got to do is do what they tell themselves to do rather than have me tell them what to do. And even if you totally disagree with what they say, why would you get into an argument with somebody? Because if you tell somebody what to do and they disagree with you, they're not going to do what you tell them to do anyway, so it'd just be a waste of time. So this thing that you live in, what have you learned all about? And you may have already, but I'm learning every day, and I've been doing this full time as my career since I was 13 years of age, and now I'm a very old lady. And I'm learning every day, how does the brain work? How does the hormonal system work? How does the lymphatic system work? How does the cardiovascular and respiratory system work? How does the skeletal and muscular system work? How do they all work together to make sure that I'm a healthy, fit, strong human being? And I don't want to diet. I don't want somebody to tell me what to do. I don't want to count calories. There's a whole heap of things that are important to me. So if somebody came along and said, Rowie, you've got to exercise for an hour every day, you've got to go to the gym, you've got to lift weights, you've got to eat this particular kind of food, it's not going to work for me because it's not going to suit my lifestyle. And I'm sure you're the same. So if you ever give advice, or anybody's giving you advice, shouldn't they be asking you a stack more questions than just telling you what to do? If you really want to be a healthy, fit, strong human being, and that's my acronym SELF, so strong, energetic, lean and fit, be self-centered and learn about this thing that you live in. Work out for yourself what's going to work best for you, because whatever's going to work best for you may not work best for somebody else. And even if you think that elite athlete's got a beautiful body, or that celebrity's got a gorgeous something going on that you want, is it possible that their genetics is different to yours, their tastes are different to yours, their stress levels are different to yours, and it's not going to work for you anyway? Work out what's going to be best for you. That's why we used to call it, I don't call it personal training anymore because there's so many very bad personal trainers in the world, but personal training, shouldn't it be that? Personally, what's going to work for you so that you can be healthy, fit and strong and live your life to the max. Work it out for yourself. Wouldn't that be a bloody good idea? Woohoo!